fabulous liftoff. For the first Sunday, we're at Headingley, where Leeds take on Warrington, who've not won here for 5 years. And Headingley launches hundreds of blue and yellow balloons to launch their Super League season here at Headingley. And here are the teams who will play today. Leeds have got Anthony Gibbons at full-back. The three-quarter line is Fallon, Iro, Hassan and Gledhill on his debut. Cummins and Holroyd the halves. Up front, it's Harmon the captain, Shaw and Howard, Mann and Schultz, with Adrian Morley at loose forward. Leeds hit by injury. On the bench, John Riley, Marcus Vasilakopoulos, Barry McDermott and Nick Fozzard. The coach is Dean Bell. Plenty of fun and entertainment at Headingley before the kick-off, and they've come here to see the match against Warrington. Warrington today playing in the traditional 1 to 13 jerseys. For some reason they haven't managed to get their Super League squad numbers ready for the big kick-off. A black mark. Lee Penny at full-back. Foster, Rudd, Finau and Maffley the three-quarters. Harris and Ford the halves. Up front it's Hilton, Hoff and Chambers. Knott and Cullen the captain, with Sculthorpe at loose forward. And on the bench, Toakoe Love, he will make his debut, the former junior Kiwi. Jones, Shelford and Michael Wainwright. The coach, of course, John Dorahy. Match referee is Russell Smith, and the European Super League season here at Headingley is underway as Graham Holroyd gets us in motion here against Warrington. Underneath the kickoff is Paul Sculthorpe. Good charging run from Shaw and Morley, the defenders for Leeds. And Leeds, Steve-O, will be desperate to get off to a flying start after their Challenge Cup semi-final defeat last weekend.
Not only did they disappoint their fans, I'm sure they disappointed themselves, especially their coach, Dean Bell. I'm positive that they would have worked hard. The first game in the Super League for the Loiners in front of their home crowd. It means so much to them.
Still a fairly inexperienced side that the Leeds coach, Dean Bell, has had to put out today because of injuries, and of course because there are several players missing from the centenary season last year. Craig Innes is gone, so is Schofield, Paul Cook, James Lowes. But Jim Fallon is still here, and the first touch of the football for this Leeds outfit.
The biggest problem that Leeds have had over the past season, their inability for the forwards to take control, really create a platform for the three-quarters, and that's a bad mistake.
They've dropped the ball. Cullen has picked up the pieces. This is Sculthorpe again.
Well, was it taken out? Perhaps it was helped out with a hand in there.
Hoff is at dummy half. Mike Ford's looking for the ball, but they elect instead to go to Paul Sculthorpe.
Warrington trying to work the blind side. But the Leeds defence is pretty solid at the moment.
Little chip over the top from Ford, collected by Yestin Harris. Out the back door to Cullen. And there is chances here, because this is Finau. Finau, the ball goes to ground, but Ford's able to keep the momentum going. He gets the ball to Hilton, and Hilton goes for the line and drops it.
Great scrambling defence, though, by Leeds. It was a superb little chip over the top by Mike Ford. Yestin Harris took it, and from here, the big fella, he launched himself away. But look at the scrambling there. He took the gamble, did a big prop forward.
There's George Mann taking it up and into the Warrington half of the field. Cummins and Holroyd. Holroyd looking for the runner, just delaying the pass, taking them on. Good diagonal run from Holroyd. Finished off in the end by Maffey, but the referee's whistle has gone. Warrington, I think, caught offside.
Yep. He played the advantage of the referee, Russell Smith. None forthcoming. So therefore, the penalty was awarded, and there you can see that the Warrington side made no attempt to go back the full 10. In the end, it was Finau who was deemed to be the culprit. Well, Leeds using these strong forwards. Howard again.
Howard almost there. He's just held up half a metre short. Shaw is the dummy half. It's back now to Holroyd. Here's Cummins. Cummins wrapped up by his opposite number, Yestin Harris. even though Cummins is wearing 1. That's his squad number. Harris is playing standoff in 6, the old system for Warrington, which is a disappointment on the opening weekend of Super League.
Good tackle there, though, by Rudd. Phil Hassan looking as though he was going for the line. It was an excellent tackle. It's good defence also from Chambers.
Adrian Morley held up short again. Mann, a short pass, bounced in front of Holroyd, but he keeps the ball. His kick to the corner, and that was caught by Forster, and he has been taken into touch as he caught that ball.
Getting ball, dead goal, be the dropout from underneath the sticks. Well attended by Paul Gledhill. A neat little chip over the top. Good thinking. Changing the tactics. Good work by Forster, but they're still under pressure.
A super run from Lee Penny. Quick play the ball, and Leeds could be in trouble defensively here. Oh, Ford and Harris just not quite reading themselves, but he gave the penalty, Russell Smith, for offside, and Warrington take it quickly. Forster. It had to be a good tackle from Cummins, as was. This now is Ford. Another great tackle from Francis Cummins. Harris now for Warrington. Finds Cullen. Switches the direction to Lee Penny, but he was well watched by Matt Schultz. Harris now. Long pass into the arms of Chris Rudd. Rudd dabs the ball forward. It's a race, and Gledhill was there, and the youngster decided to take no chances whatsoever.
Inventive play by Warrington, applying the pressure, but equal to the task was the youngster, Gledhill. Well, it took a while for this game to explode, but both sides realizing the importance of making those hard, strong busts with the forwards. It was good thinking by Mike Ford, who made an awful mistake, but referee Russell Smith had given the penalty for offside. He was quick to get on with the game, and it caught Leeds napping.
This is Lee Penny. He launches another Warrington attack, cut down by Howard and little Mick Shaw. This is Mark Hilton. They have great hopes, I know, at Warrington this season about Hilton and Chambers, the two props. Here's Ford. Harris. Ford takes over. Looks for the runner. The runner was Cullen. Good tackle again by Cummins.
The flop. Well, that's silly play there. Harvey Howard. Leeds had done all the hard work. Cummins once again in attendance. It was a beautiful tackle. There's just no reason why a player should come in like that.
So Yestin Harris, Warrington's goal kicker, now that Jonathan Davis has departed from the penalty. He gives Warrington the lead. 2 points to 0, courtesy of the boot of Yestin Harris. Dean Bell, the Leeds coach. Mark Hilton now taking Warrington into the midpoint of the Leeds half. Chambers will carry it through. John Huff's in there at dummy half. Now Mike Ford, and he finds Yestin Harris. Bit of space, and good quick hands to Maffey. Maffey for the corner. Oh, it's a blinding try if it's given. He dived, and what does the referee and touch judge and in-goal judge say? Try. It was a real dive from Maffey. He took the gamble. He could have been hit in midair and pushed out, but he went for the dive and got the 4.
Got away with it well. Beautiful play, though, by Yestin Harris. Went in and out to the man, got the ball away, and a beautiful pass by the centre, Finau. And Maffey launches. Well, that was a very close call. He would have done better to have just gone low and rather than make it spectacular. Look at that beautiful pass there by the centre, Finau. No, he should have just gone low. I'm not so sure that on many occasions would have been given a no try. Let's see on the impact. Do the legs take out the flag? They do before they actually get the arm to the ground. That very well could have been disallowed. Let's not forget that we do have the advantage of the slow motion replay. The officials do not.
But they do on a Friday and Saturday night on the live games on Sky Sports. But not today. just short. Yestin Harris with the conversion attempt. But on the Friday and Saturday, that would not have been given. But Warrington are ahead by 6 points to 0. So, Yestin Harris restarts, and Warrington have a 6-point lead. And for those of you who maybe don't realise, if you touch the corner flag in possession of the ball, you're deemed to be out of play. And Maffey certainly touched the corner flag with his legs before he got the ball down. It was a hairline decision, and very difficult, Steve-O, with the naked eye, to be fair to the in-goal judges.
Yes, I have not crucified the officials on this occasion, but that would have been clearly on, as you mentioned, Friday and Saturday live games with the big screen. And it would have been difficult also for the in-goal judge. Either way, Warrington will not be complaining, and it's at this point where Leeds have to shake themselves, because they're making the burst, but there's no support.
Leeds have made a change as Holroyd kicks downfield. Barry McDermott has come on for Harvey Howard. Two big men, but it's McDermott's opportunity now to catch Dean Bell's attention.
Well, a big message that's got to get out of this Leeds side is that the runs from dummy half from Mick Shaw is making vital ground, but they've got to go with him. It's a waste of time. Gone through on 3 occasions.
Lovely run from Mike Ford.
Someone's flattened a Leeds player in the background.
And it's Matt Schultz who's down. Oh, and he's really groggy. He's trying desperately to get back into the defensive line as Cummins comes in with the tackle on Hilton. Here now is Mike Wainwright. He gets the pass away to Yestin Harris. A lovely jinking run from Harris. He's still going. Oh, that's a breathtaking try. Yestin Harris, a superb try. He took the entire defence on and he wrong-footed them completely. Super try from Yestin Harris.
Tremendous work, first of all, by the substitute, Mike Wainwright. Isn't it great to see this youngster back after a bad injury? Kept the ball alive, but this is silky skill stuff. Look at that. In and out, there was nothing that Cummins could do. That is sheer quality. Beautiful play. Good work on this occasion by Wainwright. And look how he turns the defence in and out. Oh, great to watch. Gibbons nowhere. That is one sensational try.
Well, the departed former Warrington assistant coach Clive Griffiths likens this fellow to Jonathan Davis. And that had all the hallmarks of Jonathan Davis, that try from Yestin Harris, the Welsh international. So it's a 10-0 lead. Harris with the try. This to make the lead 12 points. And 12 points it is. Harris with a touch of magic. Leeds 0, Warrington 12. Yestin Harris restarts then, and Warrington have a 12 points to 0 lead. And Adrian Morley with a good drive downfield. Leeds with something to do now. Their supporters will be getting a little impatient. Matt Schultz has gone off because of the injury he received, replaced by Nick Fozzard. And Leeds have coughed the possession up again to Warrington. Iro going over the shoulder. Warrington making a couple of changes as well. Mark Jones and Mike Wainwright are on.
Well, once again, we've seen Leeds make the bust and then just fritter it away, throw it away there. And Iro should have kept possession.
And I think that someone's in a spot of bother here, Nick Fozzard.
Sure is. Oh, he just launched himself there. He knew the big fellow was coming at him. Well, Nick Fozzard, that was not the best attempt at a tackle. Well over the shoulder. He's giving him the benefit of the doubt.
He's told him he's in the danger area with tackling like that, and Nick Fossard, of course, himself just back from a broken jaw.
To be fair, I think the impact did go on the shoulders, but it was the way that he sort of just stepped back and then swung the arm. Didn't look pretty.
The penalty then for Warrington. And Harris with the chance here to stretch the lead again, taking his time, getting the sights set. Flags go up, another 2 points for Warrington. It's a good start so far for Messrs Murphy and Dorahy.
Well, they're becoming very inventive, Warrington. The confidence is building. Can't say the same for Leeds at the moment. They really do need a big break. They need to score to lift their spirits. There's got to be a penalty. Holding down. There you see, there's no doubt about it. They're allowing the Leeds player. Now then, what can they do, Leeds, now? They really have to roll the sleeves up, get some work done.
McDermott's doing just that. That's a much better run. Shaw to Cummins, and out wide. It's Morley. The referee has got Warrington offside.
Didn't go back. And it was a bit high from Paul Cullen. See that? Didn't miss, did he? He had the choice, referee Russell Smith. Decided offside was sufficient. But it's desperate now that Leeds have to get points on the board.
Well, their supporters getting a touch impatient. They would love to see them get across the whitewash for their first Super League try. They're 10 metres short of the line now. This could be the moment. As Cummins switches the direction of the attack, Holroyd goes back the other way. And Adrian Morley is halted. This is George Mann from dummy half. Long pass out to Iro. Iro with the strength, and Iro is in. That's what they wanted.
The sleeping giant awakes, and boy, did they need that, Leeds. Long ball out wide. They did the crisscross move. It wasn't effective. But the long ball, George Mann finds the Kiwi, and that's just what the doctor ordered. At a time where Warrington were controlling this game. Well taken there by the big centre. And the Beast, that's his nickname. Boy, they needed that. Good long ball by Mann. He used the referee well. You could see he was heading in the same direction as the referee Russell Smith. It was enough to get the defence sucked in, and that man be complete.
Kevin Iro, the New Zealand international, coming into this match really with a point to prove after Leeds went out of the Challenge Cup in the semi-final. Graham Holroyd now with the conversion attempt. And that's a great kick. So Leeds are back in the hunt, 6 points to 14. So Leeds having scored, they restart. Holroyd gives the ball plenty of air. Underneath it, Sculthorpe, he finds Lee Penny. And Penny, another good run. He made, what, 32, 33 metres there?
Such a strong fullback, Lee Penny. But the Leeds defence really held off him. They just scored a try, and with the kick-off these days, they really had to keep Warrington penned down in their own quarter.
Here's Mike Ford now, Warrington in the Leeds half of the field, and that's Mike Wainwright. Huff to Ford, short ball to Hilton.
Could be the kick over the top here.
Hoff is there, Ford wants it, there is the kick over the top, but a bit too deep. Easy in the end for Gledhill.
Bit too far there but from the hooker, John Hoff, but he could see, like I could, that Leeds had no sweeper, and the fullback was well back.
Big Nick Fozzard spins in the tackle and loses the ball. Warrington have it back with Hoff, and Hoff sees a little gap opening up for him.
Well, I'm not surprised that Fozzard lost that football. He was holding it like a basketball. And with the new rule, man-on-man, you can just take the ball off him.
Mark Jones pops the ball back up into the arms of Ford. He finds Harris. Harris to Sculthorpe. And Sculthorpe is wrestled to the floor by George Mann. Harris again. No one running off the Welshman.
Well, he scored a sensational individual try. Perhaps he thought, and his teammates thought, go and do it again.
And the Leeds supporters are appealing for a knock-on because Harris lost the ball. And the referee has given the penalty to Warrington for stealing in the tackle.
And with 2 men in attendance, that is not allowed. Francis Cummings involved in that one. Well, more pressure for Leeds. Definitely got a fingertip to it.
Here's Hilton. Referee trying to push Leeds back to their own try line, defending this run from Mark Jones.
Wouldn't surprise me if Warrington go for the 1 point.
They're looking for 4 at the moment with Sculthorpe, who somehow managed to hold on to that ball. It was round his hip. Ford. Good little scampering run from Ford, but stopped by George Mann.
Harris is shouting for it.
He's got it. And Harris dabs it through. Goes for the chase. Now then, there's a decision. The in-goal judge says no try. Harris is celebrating.
He got his hand to it, but he never forced it down. It was a good kick through. But what on earth were Leeds doing there? They allowed Justin Harris to get close. And Gibbons took all the time in the world. He should have knocked that ball dead.
Good decision by the in-goal judge. I rather fancy on a Friday and Saturday night we would now have had at least 2 calls for the big screen.
I don't think so. I think the referee saw that as well, that he lost control. I know he asked the in-goal judge.
And he was a bit far behind the play, Russell Smith. He left it to the in-goal judge. Cummins now. Anyway, it's no try, whether we use modern technology or the naked eye. Now Cummins. They're looking for another try, Leeds up to half-time. Morley. Did he lose that ball? He did. The tackle was completed, says referee Russell Smith, before the ball came out, so it's a knock-on, the decision. Warrington were preparing to launch another attack.
Well, they've lost it again. You could see that Morley was trying to flick the ball out. Just panic football. They really need someone out there, Leeds, to just control things. Of course, they've lost the services now of that experienced player, Gary Schofield. And I just get the impression, Eddie, that they could really do with a man like that out on the Leeds outfit now.
Yes, they need a playmaker, don't they?
They sure do.
Here's Ford. Wainwright was tackled, but too high.
Barry McDermott. Not pleasing the referee, Russell Smith.
Who's not pleasing the Leeds crowd, but what can you do when you see tackles like that?
Yep. The intent was there. He said that the arm was also away. The ball carrier knew that the missile was heading towards the nose. Referee quick to see that.
So Justin Harris with this penalty to give Warrington a 10-point advantage as we approach half-time. And he judged it perfectly. Swung it in on the breeze. Justin Harris is kicking well, and he's creating plenty as well in broken play. And Warrington do have that 10-point advantage. It's 16 points to 6. There's the half-time siren. No time for Warrington to restart after the penalty. But Iestyn Harris has certainly caught the eye here. A try and 4 goals. Mike Ford doing the best to resurrect his Warrington career. And so far, things going according to plan. Matti Akimafi also with a try in that first half. Iro and Holroyd the scorers for Leeds, but it's Warrington who go in with a 10-point advantage at the break. They lead by 16 points to 6. European Stones Super League about to get underway here at Headingley. And Warrington ahead by 16 points to 6. And on the verge here of an historic win, because Warrington have lost in each of their last 6 visits to Headingley. But at half-time, things for the new coaching regime of Dorahy and Murphy going absolutely according to plan. This Leeds team, Steve-O, so far looking a shadow of the outfit that finished runners-up to Wigan for the past 2 seasons.
Yes, they're losing Schofield would not help. They definitely need a leader out there. But that's good defence, though, from Warrington. They haven't given them a lot of room to move. But they just don't change their tactics. The continual dummy runner and then the ball behind the man. It certainly isn't fooling this Warrington defence as yet.
The kick over the top from the hooker Mick Shaw. Mark Forster has to retreat to within 10 metres of his own line. And now Maffey taking on Fallon on the outside, gets through Fallon, gets up off his knees and keeps going. He's quite a handful. Matti Akimafi, the Tongan, plays the ball now to Ford. Here's Celesi Finau. And Ford again, in centre field. Mark Jones. Sculthorpe injects pace, goes through the gap. Lovely run, support there from Knott. And Ian Knott is going to score here for Warrington, who has just come on the field for Paul Cullen. He's only been on the field a matter of seconds, Ian Knott. And the man who made his debut as a substitute against Leeds in August comes up with the try.
Beautiful work from Sculthorpe. Came on to the ball at speed. Look how he just swung in and out. Good support play by Ian Knott. But the Leeds defence just held off, and it was enough for the man. The delayed pass from the hooker was enough. As soon as he got the ball, he stepped off the right, then on the left. Beautiful swerve. This youngster is all talent, and so is this kid here. Ian Knott. Tremendous try. We talk about running onto the football. This is something that Leeds have failed to do. And Paul Sculthorpe really caught one for his corner when he was releasing that football. Looks a bit groggy.
Yes, put it down to Paul Sculthorpe's brilliance, but it was Ian Knott with the try, another who has come up through the Warrington's nursery. Iestyn Harris, bang in front after that try. Another 2 valuable points on offer here. And another 2 valuable points gratefully accepted. 22 points to 6 now. Warrington lead. Dean Bell, the Leeds coach, not happy. Shaw, the dummy half. Here's Holroyd. Long pass to Cummins. Francis Cummins through a gap. Cummins with the pace. Good tackle. Ball back inside, and they've thrown the chance away. It was a tremendous tackle, but Phil Hassan, well, he just gave possession to Warrington.
How many times have we seen that? It was great work by Francis Cummins, but the chance here.
Now Leeds have got the ball back, and it's man. They took a huge dummy. Warrington closed the door, and then opened it again, and put the welcome mat down. George Mann, his first try in Super League. A little dummy to the left, the entire defence went for it, and Mann simply strolled in.
Mistakes aplenty. First of all, it came from Leeds. It was a wonderful break by Francis Cummins. And then the mistake by Hassan. This really should have been rewarded with a try. Hassan did well to keep out of touch, but desperation there. He passed it to no one. No support play. And then when Warrington looked as though they were going to sweep it around, they came up with a mistake. Oh, dearie me. But it was a good dummy. George Mann would have enjoyed that. There's still plenty of time if they can really shake themselves up.
George Mann with the try then, playing in his more accustomed position in the second row today after his semi-final appearance at standoff. And that was a dummy and a try that a standoff would have been proud of. The conversion from Holroyd was successful, so Leeds back in the hunt. Well, Warrington would do well to search their memory bank. You may remember we were here a couple of years ago when Warrington surrendered a big lead to Leeds, and they eventually won, did the Headingley side, by 21 points to 19.
Composure, that's the key now for Warrington. Get through the hard work, don't do anything silly. Keep it very tight. This is where the experience of Ford has to come in. And a big kick perhaps from Euston Harris.
Sculthorpe with a little kick over the top. Holroyd read it well. And the crowd screaming that Ian Knott was in there on the flop and should have been penalised. Referee says, play on. Gledhill.
Well, I'm not so sure that... Well, he had to get them eventually. Chris Rudd, the culprit on this occasion. Now, the idea, the replay of the... Oh, there's all over the top. You can see them make no attempt. As soon as you've made the tackle, for our new viewers, you must release the man, allow him to get up and play the ball quickly.
Shaw from dummy half, scampering run. Jones, he was standing in an offside position.
He's got to be offside, and he could be going to the bin. He's looking for the card, and rightly so. Professional foul. The Welshman will be having a rest for 10.
And that puts pressure on the Warrington defence.
Well, we spoke about composure. That's hardly what the Warrington coach, John Doherty, would have liked. But a good run from the dummy half from Shaw. Leeds are not out of this yet.
And that was a quick tap penalty. They have not elected to go for the 2 points. They're looking for 4, and this is Howard. He gets the pass away to Shaw, who in turn finds Holroyd, who under pressure gets it away to Cummins. Cummins breaks one tackle. Can't get away from the next two, though. And suddenly the Leeds supporters begin to find their voice. Holroyd, Iro with one hand standing again, looking to see where the support is. Iro looking again, no support. Where was it?
They were just stood still.
Gledhill, Paul Gledhill, just about half a metre short.
Well, I can't believe that. They were standing around like cones on the M62. Move forward.
They are now with Cummins. Out wide it goes. This is a lovely run from Morley. Gets the pass away to Shaw. Support is there. That's Gibbons. Out wide it comes to Neil Harmon. Here's Iro again. Iro, now that he's in touch. No try. Gledhill thought he'd crowned his debut with a try, and the touch judge had the flag up.
Little doubt that he was in touch. But good play, though, by Leeds. It started off with a good run from Morley. Well, little doubt that the touch judge would not have seen that. Now, this is the reason why Jones goes to the sin bin. You cannot interfere with a player unless you get back 10 metres first, which puts yourself onside. Good refereeing there by Russell Smith.
So Jones is in the sin bin, having a little chat with his captain, Paul Cullen, who's also off the field.
Now, it's vital that Leeds don't give away a silly penalty here. They're fired up at the moment. They want to keep low, and that's good defence. Well played by Hassan.
Yes, he wrapped up little John Hough then. And suddenly Warrington have stopped running. They're trying the quick hands all the time out there, Finau and Maffey, but it's not coming off, and it's putting Warrington under pressure. Ian Knott there. Kick downfield though now from Harris to relieve the pressure. Gibbons watches it, allows it to bounce, and will run it back. Enthusiasm at last from Leeds. Gibbons. Good tackle in the end from Chris Rudd. Here's Iro. And this fellow, on his day, can be a real match winner.
He has the speed and the strength. Interference at the play of the ball. Russell Smith says, get on with it.
George Mann.
The crowd are lifted, and the players are.
Nick Shaw. Off he goes again. Terrific run. No one with him in support. Now there is. And it's Gibbons. Full-back has chimed into the line. Shaw again. Howard from a standing start. Back to Shaw. Gibbons again. The call was from Mann. Mann inside to Schultz. Schultz sees a gap. Beg his pardon, it was Morley. This is Gibbons. Out wide is Mann, who couldn't hang on to it.
Well, the Warrington defence, they were stretched. They were out on their feet. The long ball out wide. All the big guy had to do was take the football. He couldn't. Well, that could have changed the game entirely.
And the clock ticking down in the sin bin for Mark Jones. Shelford, round the corner, he finds Wainwright.
This surely will be a bomb.
Last tackle. Sculthorpe chips it through, goes down in a heap. Referee Russell Smith says play on, and Anthony Gibbons will take them on. From full-back to well into the Warrington half. A super run from Gibbons. Over the top is Iro. Iro cuts in field. Stops, comes back again. No one in support once more, but a sensational run from Anthony Gibbons. Here's Holroyd. Just 2 tackles gone. Shaw in at dummy half. Neil Harman, the captain. Warrington's defence being tested now. Holroyd, Cummins. Straight at those Warrington posts. Penny hauls him down. Fallon, the dummy half. Gibbons, who started all this mayhem. Again, no one there. The ball comes back. Fallon picks up the bits. That's back to 0 in the tackle count. Leeds have 6 more tackles here to get over the line, and Warrington is stretched out wide. Still going. He's in. Nick Fozzard will score. Well, that's been coming for a while. Ever since Mark Jones went to the sin bin, Leeds have been very much on top, and they're really back in it now.
Beautiful break, Bo, from Gibbons. The fullback really did put the pace on. That was great skills, palming the man off. Lee Penny was nowhere to be seen after that. I thought that Iro had taken the wrong option by coming back to the blind. But good work from Leeds. They kept the ball alive. Long ball out wide. I thought for a moment there that the substitute, Nick Fozzard, had blown it. He had Hassan out wide. It would have been an easier option. It didn't matter. His strength got him there in the end. Super stuff. It all came about by good effort by the full-back. And suddenly Leeds have decided to run with the football, support the man. The strength got him there, and the youngster has every right to be happy.
Holroyd then with the conversion attempt. Gets the extra 2. Dean Bell looking a bit happier now. The gap just 4 points. Rudd. Off to Hilton. Quick play the ball from Hilton. There's Hoff again. Untidy play the ball. Good defence this from Leeds. That's 4 tackles gone. Here's Harris. They've all moved up in a straight line. Now then, Warrington must kick deep here.
And knock down the throat of the fullback Anthony Gibbons. We've seen already what he can do. Ford's experience was good.
And he gains valuable metres past the inexperienced Paul Gledhill, who could do little with this viciously bouncing ball.
Ford obviously realising that the big run from the fullback Anthony Gibbons meant that he would not put it anywhere near him. Ford, the acting captain, now saying, come on, let's just take it nice and steady.
Vasilakopoulos feeds that scrum, finds Cummins, finds Iro. Hassan out wide to Fallon. Fallon's taking him on out wide. Tosses the ball back inside before he goes over the touchline.
Good play by Fallon. Just got it inside at the right moment.
Cummins to Vasilakopoulos. Another 10,000 crowd at Headingley for the start of the Super League. And they've been richly entertained, particularly in this second half.
He's got him for a shepherd. Vasilakopoulos there, using through, but you can see that there's a knee goes in there, and goes in pretty hard. Accidental, perhaps. Spins around, and he used Fozzard. The knee certainly went in. Well, it's a weird one.
The referee's penalised Leeds for the obstruction. And Warrington have the penalty. And if Harris kicks this, it could be the ball game for Warrington. This is a vital kick. Iestyn Harris, 5 out of 6. He's kicked well all day. This could mean the difference between victory and defeat. We've still got plenty to play for.
Gibbons trying to make contact with that football. Unsuccessful, so it'll be a dropout on the 22.
That's the one thing that Iestyn Harris will console himself about, but that's a super kick from Francis Cummins right downfield. Hoff's gone off and Shelford's come on. A bit of experience to steady the ship. 4 points in it. We're inside the last 2 minutes.
That was an unbelievable kick there. That's given them a chance at least.
And Sculthorpe with a touch of cramp.
They'll take it away, 1 metre away from the man. No, Sculthorpe all of a sudden recovers enough to play the football. All the tricks of the trade will be coming out now. Warrington hanging on.
Well, if it was a trick of the trade from Sculthorpe, what an old head on very young shoulders. He's only 18.
They learn quick when it means winning bonus.
Here now is Ford again. Haul down, that's the last tackle. And Harris will surely drill this along the ground, which he does. Eats up a few more valuable seconds.
Good thinking too, because that means that he wasn't going to give the football deep into the corner, and perhaps for Leeds to get a roll on.
Sculthorpe wasn't in the back of the pack. He was coming from behind the referee to take his place in the scrum. He wants it reformed, so it is, and this is last chance now for Leeds.
It was nearly thrown away as well. It wasn't the best pass. Cummins did exceptionally well to take that.
Oh, they're standing round over there, almost having a meeting. Inventive play to Shaw. Here's Anthony Gibbons. Here's Phil Hassan. Good tackle, Maffey. Shaw again. Vasilakopoulos. Cummins. Man. Iro takes it one-handed. Iro leads the charge. There's the siren. Warrington have won. And the European Super League campaign of John Dorahy gets off to a flying start at Headingley. They were skating on thin ice for a while, but Iestyn Harris, with his try and goal kicking, he has led Warrington to victory. 22 points to 18. A good start for John Dorahy, back in the Stones European Super League. Final score then here at Headingley. Leeds 18, Warrington 22. Iro, Mann and Fozzard for Leeds. Holroyd with 3 goals. Maffey, Harris with a try and not. Harris also kicked 5 goals. He surely was...